This is semi-final number 1. It's the best of 11 frames. It's time now to meet the players. We begin with a player looking to reach his 4th ranking event final, China's Zhou Yuelong. His opponent, your reigning and defending Scottish Open champion, the Tyneside Terror, Gary Wilson.
So here we go then, the first semi-final of the afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Meadowbank Arena. It's a packed house with 4 players left to contest the coveted Stephen Hendry Trophy. Semi-finals day at the Scottish Open. Gary Wilson looking to successfully defend the title. Zhou Yuelong searching for his first round. It's the best of 11, the first to 6 for the right to play either John Higgins or Noppon Sankan. And it's Zhou Yuelong who will get us underway. Just their 4th meeting. Wilson has won 2 of the 3. They last met back in 2020 in successive months. Zhou winning at the European Masters in the January in a decider, and Wilson winning the following month at the World Grand Prix. And that tournament will feature Gary Wilson having got to the semi-finals. He takes the 32nd and final qualifying spot, and he's got an early chance which has been squandered. Good afternoon, Joe.
Yeah, good afternoon. I can't really believe the first 2 shots from both players. Zhou Yuelong leaving the cue ball on the baulk line with a relatively easy red. And then Gary Wilson missing the red and leaving Zhou with the chance. Not a good start from either player. First blood then goes to Zhou Yuelong. A little bit of a wipe down, a bit sticky out there. I think it's important that Zhou gets off to a good start against Gary, who played absolutely superbly in his match with Chris Wakelin yesterday. Haven't seen anybody play any better.
8.
5 big breaks.
Nine.
Yes, it was a very different sort of match for Zhou Yuelong, who was at one stage 4-1 up on Stuart Bingham and cruising, but Bingham came back at him with some great snooker, took it to the decider, but what a deciding frame Zhou put together off the Bingham break. Cue ball tight under the baulk cushion, thumped in a red and made
16.
a match-winning 70. Real metal, as Jimmy mentioned, to get the job done. So that stands him in good stead today.
17.
I think he was expecting a little kiss there on the red, but missed it. And that's why he's so far away from the black there. Just makes this a little bit more difficult. Well, it wasn't a good break off, but so far he's cueing the ball very well.
His runners featured 2 whitewash victories over Anthony Hamilton in round 1. He got a walkover with Martin Gould withdrawing from the event. Then Andrew Higginson 4-2 and then 4-0 over Dominic Dale before that thriller with Bingham. Never been past the round of 16 of this tournament prior to this year, so it's already been, by a distance, his best run at the Scottish Open.
Well, he took the opportunity there to open the back of reds. He could have played for either of the loose reds, but he's brought more reds into play and still got this red to the middle.
Yuelong 32.
Be disappointed with that one. Didn't finish up ideally on the red from the split, but still expected him to pot that red. Just trying to hold that cue ball, maybe playing the cannon more than the pot. So, chance for Gary. Could have done without the kiss. Well, that's end of break. He can play the snooker, but he would have liked to have missed the yellow. He would have been on a colour then.
Gary Wilson 1.
Zhou's appearing in his 6th ranking semi-final and hoping for a 4th final appearance. Runner-up in the European Masters, a distant runner-up, it must be said, in 2020 to Neil Robertson, who whitewashed him. Made the shootout final the same year, and of course last season was looking good in the final of the Northern Ireland Open. In the home nations, led Mark Allen 4-1, didn't win another frame.
Little low. Slight adjustment needed.
Gary Wilson 4.
Will be going back.
Leo Scullion, our referee for this first semi-final.
Yeah, Kenny, thanks.
Still a little low, I think.
Foul and a miss. Gary Wilson 4. Yeah.
No damage done. Can't see him leaving a red on unless he hits it too hard.
Kenny, thanks.
So a little higher up on the cushion. That's more like it. And still a little low.
Foul and a miss. Gary Wilson 4.
The problem is it's throwing wide off the cushion because this is a new cloth on the table. So whilst he was used to the other cloth, this one just throws that little bit different. So it throws wide off the first cushion and throws wide again off the second cushion. And that's simply because it's a new cloth. Is it hard enough? Is it hard enough? Because he's been short 3 times.
Foul and a miss. Gary Wilson 4.
He's got the line now.
And he points these, already 16 of them for Gary Wilson.
Yeah, just rubbing the cushion on the second cushion, just telling us all that it's a little bit dead. That's more like it, but is it too low again? Is it too low? It is.
Foul and a miss. Gary Wilson 4.
Certainly got closer that time. Just slipped past the edge of the red in that cluster.
So you wouldn't think it would take him 5 attempts, well, 6 attempts now, to hit these reds. It's not that difficult to shot this. Is it hard enough? And the answer is no.
Foul and a miss.
6
Gary
times.
Wilson 4.
Still, he'd rather give 24 points away than leave a red on. Is he hard enough? Just.
.24 points given away, but finally, Zhou makes the escape. Just 7 points in it now, though. Gary Wilson's form this week, as he's been very honest in pointing out, has been a mixed bag. At times he's struggled with his game, as he's done for a lot of the season. He came into this tournament in 60th place on the one-year list with the World Grand Prix in mind, so he's done very well to get himself into the top 32. He had to make the semis to make that happen, but some of the performances have been in and out. Yesterday, of course, was very different. Against Chris Wakelin, he was excellent. Against Xing Zhihao from 3-1 down, he was excellent. He made back-to-back century clearances.
Yeah, I think it all changed from that moment on, didn't it? When he played Xing, he was struggling, and then all of a sudden, he found something. Good safety, this. Just got to be careful here. He could go in off if he catches the red a little bit too thin, the one that he's pointing to. Needs to catch it half ball. Well, decided to go for the pot, and what a shot that was. That was a very brave shot to play, and it could be a frame winner. What a shot. I'm expecting to leave the cue ball in the jaws of the pocket. He's thinking about winning the frame.
Whatever doubts he's had about his game and technical issues, perhaps psychological issues, when he's been on the table in recent times, since he won this title, I think a lot of those have been allayed by the performance against Wakelin.
9.
So he comes into this match feeling probably as good about his game as he has since he lifted the Stephen Hendry Trophy last season.
Yeah, he would have liked to wait on this red to the corner. Having to go back down for the blue again. And as I say, this is a new cloth on the table, so it will play slightly from the one yesterday.
Twenty. $21.
Just a little short again
28.
for comfort. May have to go for the blue.
$29.
Made sure of getting the right side of the blue, and he's just a little touch too far. Didn't want the kiss. And, well, we still got a red to the left middle.
34.
But a little fortunate.
What a great scene. Down to the single table now, of course, at the semi-final stages. All eyes on these two players.
35.
And again, he's overrun with his position, and this time it could be end of break. That was a great chance, and there's only 28 points in the frame. Could just tickle up behind the yellow. Good snooker at this
Gary
stage
Wilson,
of the
top
game.
5.
He would have liked to have finished it there, though. Zhou Yuelong, he's on the verge of the top 16. Currently at 21 in the world. He will have climbed places with this tournament. Now, will he take this red on to the middle? It's one of those, if you get it, you win the frame. If you miss it, you could lose the frame. Yeah, and there was pressure on that. Well, he hasn't left an easy red, Zhou Yuelong. I don't think he'd have missed that if it was frame 3 or 4. But with it being the first frame and each player desperate to get the first frame. And there you say again, and that's not the best kiss in the world, Zhou Yuelong.
Who also missed to that left centre when he was in on 32 early in the frame and then gave 20 points, 24 points away.
Yeah, it could have been safe that without the kiss. He was playing the cue ball to the middle pocket.
1.
Yeah, that's a good kiss on the red. So I don't think there'll be any mistake second time around, although may have to play a delicate cannon here to a red. And that should do him. So red and a black here. And Zhou will need snookers. He could play for the pink, easy enough to get to the red next to it.
Nine.
It's been a slightly edgy start, a poor break-off. An
14.
Opportunity for Gary Wilson to get in. He missed to the left centre. Zhou then missed to that same pocket when he was on 32. Then that series of foul points that got Wilson back into it.
Yeah, and he left himself awkward on that red that he needed. But good pot with the rest.
43 in front, only 35 left, so this pink will make absolutely sure.
Twenty-one. Gary Wilson, 21. And the frame.
Zhou Yuelong concedes, so both players had opportunities in that frame. It's Gary Wilson who has taken his, and the defending champion is off and running here in Edinburgh. He leads Zhou Yuelong 1-0. The first semi-final is underway in the third leg of the home nations, the Scottish Open. And Gary Wilson, who won the title so emphatically last season with a 9-2 demolition of Joe O'Connor, has the first frame. It was a bit of an edgy affair, understandably. Lots at stake for both players today. Wilson looking to emulate Mark Selby, winning back-to-back Scottish Opens. What an achievement that would be, particularly given that his form has been indifferent for most of this season. And for Zhou Yuelong, well, he's looking to break his ranking title duck. He's had a better season than Wilson. He's well ensconced in the top 32 in the one-year list. In fact, he's knocking on the door of the Tour Championship. Could be for the top 12 in the new year, before we got the Players' Championship for the top 16. All of that to look forward to in 2024, but who is going to have the last laugh this year? He won't have that one back.
No, at the moment, the run-in certainly favouring Gary Wilson. He missed an important ball in the last frame, the red to the middle, and didn't leave anything easy. Kind of got away with it, and he certainly got away with that one. Didn't play the cue ball in behind the brown. Got to take the run-in when you get it, though, because it can soon turn against you.
And this time he reaches at the first attempt. Snooker that Gary Wilson laid early in the first frame proved very expensive for Zhou Yuelong, 24 points.
He's covered it again. Very risky. That could so easily have been end of frame if Gary could have seen that red over the pocket. Remember in the last frame, he potted one off the cushion and it was a superb shot. Stayed on the black and got a good lead. Well, he was going to play down the table again, but he'd be fortunate to cover that red.
Do you need a drink? You okay?
Yeah, I think Wilson just waiting until offering his glass of water to the spectator who's got a frog in their throat. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, memories of Ray Reardon, eh? The World Championship, he did the same thing.
You've got a lurgy, though, have you? I've got a lurgy.
It's that time of year.
I wonder if lurgy means the same thing in Scotland as what it does in the northeast. Well, the first time he was going to play down the table. It could have gone anywhere. Well, look where the cue ball is. He didn't play it to there, but he's covered the red over the pocket.
Yeah, very fortunate. Cue ball nowhere near where Gary Wilson intended it to be, on the baulk rail behind the colours as it is. He has covered that easy red. Sizing up what would be his plant with so much distance between the two reds, and the red he's tried to pot still some way from the pocket.
Yeah, I think the important thing was to move it and try and get that cue ball back into the baulk area, which is done. He could so easily have left that red. That's come down the table after him. He got a very good cue ball here. Look at this. But unfortunately, that red coming down the table leaves Gary Wilson with an easy safety. Could have been worse, though. Could have left the red on.
Had a wonderful amateur pedigree. Zhou Yuelong, he won the world amateur title when he was just out of short trousers, 15 years of age, and then won the World Cup with Yan Bingtao the following year, beating the man he could play in the final. Things go to plan for him today, John Higgins and Stephen Maguire.
Oh, what a good kiss on the yellow that was. Difficult path back to baulk from here.
For his part, Gary Wilson was a former world amateur, or rather world under-21 champion. Made his first ranking final in China, the 2015 China Open, where he was schooled by Mark Selby, winning only 2 frames. Of course, he repeated the trick himself against Joe O'Connor last year, dropping just 2 frames in the final. He played superbly. Since then, it's been trickier for him, but coming back to Edinburgh has clearly been a real tonic for him.
Well, I think he's been forced into taking this red on down the cushion. Now, how's your luck? He's left a red to the left middle.
Settle down. Of course you can. We'll even let you back in.
I think that lady in the front row is still struggling with
Come back in when you've said.
the cough, so possibly she'll be leaving, maybe to get something for it.
Are you going to go now? Okay.
So we're going to have a slight delay to proceedings
Something's
here, I
falling
think.
underneath your chair. I don't know if it's medication.
It was a terrific run from Gary Wilson last year. He beat Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, Hossein Vafai, Kyron Wilson, Tapchire and Nu. And then that superb performance in the final against Joe O'Connor, who played so well to get to the final, didn't do himself justice in it, but Wilson was just way too strong on the day. He said afterwards that actually the main emotion he felt was relief that he'd finally got his hands on a ranking title after so many years of trying. 19 years a pro.
Yeah, I remember him playing in the semi-final of the World Championship. My word, didn't he play well? Oh, chance for Zhou Yuelong, and this is a good chance to respond.
Wasn't phased, was he, by that delay in play? Just got down and stroked it in. And he did play some really good stuff against Stuart Bingham, who was a bit below par early in the match, but then found something close to his best form, put Zhou under a lot of pressure, and the way he responded in the decider, having been largely frozen out for 3 frames, was so impressive.
Yeah, certainly a star of the future. Zhou Yuelong. He's made 2 maximum breaks in
16.
tournament play. Masters and the World Championship.
17.
All right. Sorry, make that the Indian Open and the Scottish Open. I was looking at Gary Wilson where he made his 4 maximums.
Yeah, Wilson's made one in World Championship qualifying and at the UK Championship as well. They're both terrific break builders, very heavy scorers when they're playing well. Wilson's made 3 centuries this tournament, Zhou 4. He's 1 away from 200 for his career.
Just his age. The last of the easy reds.
Okay.
May play for the pink here. If it goes to the left corner, easier to play a cannon then. Well, change of mind. Best to get up when you think of something different. I think he was going to play down for the black. May play for the pink now. Nope, down for the black. Needs an angle. He's got it. Now, if you can miss the red directly above the black and catch the one next to it, they should open very nicely. Doesn't want to catch that red directly above the black. Well, that's the one he caught, and it's turned out nice.
Up to 8. Up to 9.
Needs to be straight on this red to be able to get to the black. That's okay.
47.
It was a case of playing for the pink there, but this is okay. The red below the pink is attainable to the same right corner pocket. That releases the other 2 reds next to the red he's playing.
54.
This is looking good. Zhou Yuelong.
55.
Got to finish it now, though. I would have liked a better angle on the black here. Doesn't really want to play for that red behind the black. Yeah, could have done with a little bit more angle. He did well, really, to get the cue ball there from where he was. He really had 62. To power that black in.
$63.
Still needs another red.
A really good response, this, from Zhou Yuelong. He would have been a bit frustrated with the first frame. He was in first and then missed a red to the left centre. He gave all of those penalty points away, which didn't help his cause. But this is exactly what he would have been looking for. One visit to equalise.
Yeah, both players now settled. Let balance.
77.
These pockets will be a little easier with the new cloth on the table as well.
$85.
Well, so far the crowd being thoroughly entertained.
$86.
But this is what he's got to do if he's going to win tournaments, Zhou Yuelong. And as I said, he's close to being in the top 16, number 21 in the world.
92.
Made it to 17 a couple of years ago. But he seems to be getting stronger
93.
by the season. He's had some setbacks, not least that whitewash loss at the hands of Robertson, which would clearly have hurt him, but maybe it's made him stronger. Very determined player, works very hard at his game. And that is his 200th career century. Just querying that the scoreboard was correct, and it was the century. It is. It's a landmark one for him. His 5th of the week.
101.
Just to underline how well he's cueing.
Long rest. 105.
Yeah, I always think it's important, Philip, who won the last time they played, and it was Zhou Yuelong who beat Gary Wilson 6-5. European Masters 3 years ago.
Thank you. 106.
Yeah, and perhaps the most significant of their 3 meetings, because it was over this distance of 11 frames, and it went the distance. And we could well be in for something similar today with the way these two are queuing. What a superb break that was from Zhou Yuelong. 106, the 200th professional century for him to equalise in style. It's 1-1. So, as Joe mentioned, battle joined and in style by Zhou Yuelong, searching for his first ranking title. Brilliant break of 106, his 200th professional century. After Gary Wilson took the opener, 1 apiece. It's the first to 6 now, so there's a bit more room to manoeuvre.
Well, that break-off isn't much better than his first break-off. He's left a chance here. Zhou Yuelong is well short of the balk line for somebody of his class, calibre. And sometimes, many times, you can lose the frame by leaving a red on. It's more important now than ever to get that cue ball close to the cushion on the break-off. Just a little shorter pace to be ideal on this red. I'd have liked to have held for the black. Has to go down for one of the balk colours, and it stayed on the lip.
Gary Wilson, 5.
Now, does the red near the blue pass that red near the pocket? If it doesn't, you still got to play it and move that red. Well, you can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to play in off the red. It looks like it Might go in the pocket direct, but he doesn't think so, and he's right behind the shot with young eyes. Either way, he's gonna move the red. Ah, well played. And just about on the yellow. Just about. I'd like to have been straighter, but this is well within his capabilities. So he's made a 106 break in the last frame, so he's got his eye in. Yeah, just slightly the wrong side of the blue or straight, which makes the next red a little bit more difficult. But as I say, he's got his eye in now, so not too difficult.
Nine.
A great picture.
10.
Just lost the cue ball a little, so that could do him a favour actually, because it forces him to go into the reds now. It could do with missing the red directly above the black and catching the red to the left of it. Again, he caught the red directly above the black.
17.
If he catches the other one, he pushes it towards the middle and could be on reds to the right corner as well. This is a tough one. Yeah, just caught that near angle, and he's left a red to the left middle. If you're going to play that shot, you've got to play it a little bit harder not to leave the red on. Don't think he thought about what he was going to leave, just that he was going to get that one. Well, sometimes you miss, and you've got to think about it. Could cost you a frame. Could cost you a match.
1.
So Gary Wilson with a chance. Good attacking snooker this though, isn't it? Good safety. But both players going for the shots. These reds just below the pink spot. 7 reds I think there is, and they're all covering one another. Just looking to see if that red will go to the left corner. If it does, it could open the other reds as well. Soon find out.
Seven.
There it is.
8.
Not sure if there's a plant there as well, but the red nearest to the black, I think, will go to the left corner. If not, he could go into them from the blue.
13.
Leave the cue ball where the red is.
14.
And that hasn't been favourable. I
19.
think he was trying to miss the pink and catch the reds, but he caught the pink. That sent the red towards that right corner. So just a safety. But hasn't missed a pot, and that's important.
Gary Wilson, 19.
But that is not a good safety. Making contact with the brown. He could take this long straight red on to the left corner, and he wouldn't leave anything if he stopped the cue ball where the red is.
And his long potting in this tournament has been exceptionally good, not least the one he knocked in that took him on his way to victory against Stuart Bingham when he was right under the baulk cushion. That's not the case this time.
Yeah, what I'm saying is if he leaves the cue ball where the red is or round about that area, he shouldn't leave any reds on. Oh, wow. He missed. He must have miscued there. He wouldn't have missed that by so far. He can't believe that.
Yeah, I think we can say without fear of contradiction that was the worst long pot that Zhou has attempted in this tournament.
And he's left a red to the middle. Not easy by any means. Looking at possible plants to the middle as well. Yeah, we just got a glimpse of it there. He thinks it's the plant. And it is. And that should give him a great chance of winning the frame at this visit now.
Eight. Nine.
His performance against Chris Wakelin was undoubtedly the most complete he's produced so far this week. It was a breakfast from Wilson. 118, 96, 82, 68 and 68.
14.
He was ruthless in punishing his opponent's mistakes.
$15.
Already 22 in front. No reason why he shouldn't clinch the frame here.
Now, as soon as he got that plant to the middle,
22.
the balls were there for the taking. And he's playing well enough to take them.
23.
Still got that confidence from yesterday, that 5-0 win against Chris Wakelin. Still fresh in his mind how well he played. And boy, didn't he play well. This was the plant. And you're never sure about those kind of plants to the middle.
$31.
Just seems to be striding round the table with some of the old confidence. Maybe he has found something technically. Oh, hang on though. Out of the blue, he's overcut the black. Can't believe it.
Would you believe it? I couldn't believe it either. But what an opportunity for Zhou Yuelong to steal. And this could affect his confidence big time. If he should lose this frame, wants to eat his cue by the looks of it.
It's going to affect his teeth, never mind his confidence.
Yeah, it's not funny though. And, well, he needs Zhou Yuelong to miss for it not to affect him.
And on the other side of the coin, what a chance to inflict some pain for Zhou. He must have thought, having butchered the red just now, missed it by about a foot, that with Gary Wilson getting the plant, he was going to go 2-1 behind. Now an opportunity to make that surprise error on the black count.
Yeah, it looks easy enough, but we know there's loads of pressure out there, don't we?
And he was going so nicely, wasn't he? I was making the point that he seemed to be striding around the table with some of the old swagger that we saw when he lifted this title last season. And then from nowhere, a routine black goes astray.
Yeah, he would have liked to have been the other side of the red here so that he could have played for the yellow or the brown. He's still going to try that.
Nine.
That makes it easier to get to that last red by playing for the yellow or the brown. Would have preferred to be playing the brown here. So one good shot, you would feel.
11.
And that black only matters from Wilson if Zhou punishes him here. So he's got to take care. If he were to miss, Wilson wins the frame after all. The defending champion can forget about the error. But if he takes advantage, then it's the kind of mistake that can linger for another couple of frames beyond this one.
Yeah, dead right. You could remember it for a long, long time. Here it is again. Top angle.
15.
Sometimes you can be overconfident. As Philip said, he was striding round the table as though he wasn't going to miss, and I'm sure he was full of confidence, but you only have to miss one shot like that. We saw that yesterday with John Higgins. He missed a simple red by a distance, and it seemed to affect him.
20.
One shot can make all the difference in a snooker match. Zhou Yuelong now. Well, it's a two-frame difference. It would have been 2-1 to Gary Wilson.
24.
And it could be 2-1 to Zhou Yuelong. So what a difference it could make.
Needs all three colours.
Not ideal on blue. I don't think he can hold, can he? Can he hold for the pink? Yep, he can.
29.
Wow. Unbelievable how this game turns around.
Yes, some frames feel more significant than others, and this one, a very important early frame in our first semi-final. It looked as though Gary Wilson, having executed the plant to the right centre pocket, was moving in front. But he missed the black. And Zhou Yuelong has potted the black and has cleared up and has stolen the frame, and in the process has inflicted some pain on the defending champion. That's a tough one to swallow for Gary Wilson. Zhou Yuelong moves 2-1 in front. This is the scene here at the Meadowbank Sports Centre. Semi-finals day at the Bet Victor Scottish Open. The Stephen Hendry Trophy on the line. This man lifted it last season for his maiden ranking title. He's got designs on retaining it, but this black hurt in more ways than one. Goodness, when he was looking good for 2-1, that's what he thought of it. He's put a dent in his cue. Has he dented his hopes of the title match again? Certainly a tough one to take. And it's going to be a test of character now for Gary Wilson in this frame before the interval to get it out of his system and get out of this session unscathed at 2 each. Credit, though, to Zhou Yuelong. They were there for him, but you've still got to take them, and had he missed himself, then Gary Wilson's error might have been quickly forgotten. As it is, no doubt he'll be stewing on it in his chair.
Yeah, we'll see how he's feeling if he gets another chance.
Take your seats quickly,
It was
please.
a good choice of shot to play down for one of the baulk colours off the last red. He could so easily have just played for the blue, maybe, and left it straight. Doesn't get the clearance then.
Gary Wilson made reference to the fact that these two have practiced together in the past when Zhou was still up in Darlington at the Q House Academy. Great practice facility. Oh, he's caught the black first there.
Gary Wilson, 7.
Yeah, he missed the red he was playing on. So, chance for Gary. Trying to catch it ultra thin. And missed it completely.
He originally moved up there in order to avoid distractions and really concentrate on working on his game, which he felt in his younger years perhaps he hadn't done as much as he might have done. But as we know, he's now moved back to Sheffield, which I think he feels from a lifestyle point of view has helped him. No.
Well, you can see what he's feeling like now at the moment. He's in bits. He hasn't left anything easy for Zhou Yuelong. But more importantly, to miss it by so much.
Yes, and I guess when you have been having some issues with your cueing, whether they're technical, psychological, or a combination of the two, the kind of error he made in the previous frame can bring those doubts back again.
It's a good point, Philip. Yep, doesn't take much to doubt yourself. By the same token, it can all come back again. One good pot can bring it all back. Got to believe how good he is. By the way, this was a good shot from Zhou. Getting the black back on its spot. Assume the red goes. Well, it's going to be tight, this. If it doesn't spot, it goes behind this red. And the red isn't on all of a sudden. Fortunately, he has got another red, but not easy to get to a colour from it.
I think Zhou's just querying whether the black definitely doesn't go on its spot, but Leo Scully, our referee, has confirmed there's no space for it, so...
Yeah, well, he's tested it, hasn't he, with his little implement. Black will go to the right corner.
Nine.
Not from there, though.
Zhou Yuelong will be very keen now to press on. He'll be aware that his opponent is suffering right now as a result of that miss black that cost him the previous frame. He's just seen him miss again. So it's up to Zhou to try and really capitalise, take a 3-1 lead. And that's another terrific pot. Remember, he missed a red by, as Zhou would say, the proverbial weak in the previous frame, which allowed Wilson to get in with the plant, only to miss that black.
Well, he certainly cued this one well, too well. The cue ball's come back too far. But the red next to the black will go to the right corner. He would have liked to have been straight on it.
This is a big shot. wasn't
Very
easy.
long, 14.
And having missed it, he knew he was going to be leaving it, so things change again.
Yeah, he just overscrewed the blue, didn't he?
Chance for Wilson to just regroup after a slightly chastening few minutes.
Oh, wow. That only just went in. He's on the black.
I think he thought that was staying out initially. Just feels like what happened just now with the black has drained some of his confidence. He's got to try and just focus on the present right now, because he can still get out of this mini session at 2 each, and given the way things have gone in the last few minutes, that would be a very satisfactory result for him. Chance to just reset during the mid-session interval.
I think it's important now, Philip, that he scores heavy here. And to do that, he needs to get that pack open, and this is an opportunity into that gap between the reds. Well, he's not playing it. I don't blame him, because you know, you just got to get your confidence back a little before you start playing tough shots.
$17. $24. $25.
That's a good shot he's played there. Plenty of left-hand side on the cue ball to take it down towards the baulk colours, guaranteeing him to be on a colour. Look at the side on the cue ball here. Zips down the table. Most players play that shot. Well, where's this going?
29.
Just travelled a little too far for comfort. Most players just play that shot plain ball or with right-hand side, and it checks. And it finishes up in the middle of the table on nothing. A little tester. Test passed.
And a meaty break here, and a frame-winning one from Gary Wilson would go a long way to easing the pain of the previous frame. He knows he should have been 2-1 up, but given the way this frame was going for him just now, he might have been thinking he was going to be 3-1 down. Instead, he's got the chance to get out of it honours even. This little mini session. And then it'll be a best of 7 from here on in for a place in the final tomorrow. So that's the goal here. 24 in front. Still work to do. But a chance to do it. Get that cue action grooved again.
Yeah, in fact, it could make him stronger.
$42.
This time it's Zhou Yuelong's turn to feel like he's missed the boat, because he had the chance there to hammer home an advantage. Left himself an awkward red into this right corner, a cut back off that very well struck blue. Too well struck, as it turned out, because he went a bit too far. He missed it, and this is the result.
48.
Yeah, sometimes when you miss those kind of shots, though, you can get away with it, but he left it right over the
49.
pocket. This is the shot again. Sometimes they can go safe, especially if you catch the other angle. So 45 points the difference.
57.
Still needs another red, and there's one available there. And that's all he's going to need. It's red with the rest. Nothing fancy, just
64.
make sure of the red. Zhou can tie at the moment. Well played. So, in snookers, it's going to be 2 each.
And the interval refreshment, whatever it might be for Gary Wilson, will taste a good deal better than it might have done. He was looking a little frustrated.
71.
But he's managed to regroup, having got the reprieve.
72.
And now queuing like he did against Chris Wakelin again.
Yeah, they're good shots across the nap of the table. Straight. Zhou Yuelong made a
79.
106 in frame 2.
80.
Gary needs to get on this last red. Either move it or drop in behind it. Nicely done. He's on the red.
7.
Yep, it's there.
88.
It always looked a little high. No century, but that's a very important break from Gary Wilson, just to restore order after the way the third frame got away from him. It's been a fascinating start to our first Scottish Open semi-final, and after 4 frames, there's nothing to choose. It's 2 each.
And your semi-finalists, Zhou Yuelong and the Tyneside Terror, Gary Wilson.
So it's set up beautifully for the second half of our first Scottish Open semi-final. Gary Wilson 2, Zhou Yuelong 2. Both players have lost frames. They might have won.
Thank you, frame 5.
And as Jimmy
Very
White
long
said,
break.
2-all feels right overall. I think Gary Wilson will be more relieved of the 2, though, because the wheels were just in danger of coming off after he missed the routine black when he should have been 2-1 up. Missed another one early in the 4th frame, but crucially, Zhou Yuelong missed a tricky cut-back red to the right corner, and that left Wilson with the chance to make his first substantial break of this semi-final, 88, to tie it up at 2 each.
Yeah, it could have been a century. Could have had 1 each, couldn't they? Well, that full ball kiss on the green has left a chance here for Zhou. Yep, and right in the middle of the pocket.
We've seen a lot of those from Zhou Yuelong this week. There was one aberration in the third frame that ultimately didn't prove expensive because he was able to punish Gary Wilson's miss black. But generally speaking, he's been very reliable from distance here in Edinburgh. But that cannon has not quite gone as he intended.
No, he's still on one though.
Eight.
But it was interesting that he tried to open the reds up pretty early. Could have played for the 2 loose reds. Tells a little story in itself, that. Yep, good recovery.
Nine.
Yeah, in the last frame, Zhou Yuelong missed a very difficult ball that was touching the black into that right corner pocket, if you remember, and left it potable. So it was missable. It wasn't like he missed an easy shot and it cost him the frame. He knows he's still playing well. He hasn't missed anything easy as yet. Now, will he try and open more reds up here? I thought he would have tried just to open a few reds up and try and stay on this red. Don't have to hit them hard,
16.
just to develop 2 or 3. So he's got to leave himself on a colour to be able to open them this time round.
Seventeen.
I may have to play around 2 cushions to open the reds. Doesn't like it. Wanted a better angle, if you like. Just checking there's no plants on.
Twenty-two. Very long. 22.
No joy in splitting the reds, so has to settle for a handy lead of 22, no more than that on the resumption. This is their 4th meeting, remember. Wilson edging it 2-1. Zhou winning their only best of 11 encounter in the semi-finals of the European Masters back in January of 2020. 6-5.
Yes, and that wasn't the last time they played, as I said earlier. Zhou won in January. Wilson won in February. Close matches between, just a month between them. But it was Gary Wilson who won the last encounter.
Yeah, no doubt Zhou was still licking his wounds from what happened in the final of the European Masters, where, of course, he was whitewashed by Neil Robertson, only the 2nd time in the history of the game that a 2-session final had finished in a whitewash after Steve Davis did it to Dean Reynolds back in '89 at the Grand Prix. But I think he's well and truly got that loss out of his system. He didn't want the double kiss, however.
No, it's always a risk that you take when you play that shot. And that could be very costly for him. He was playing to leave the cue ball on the black cushion. But the cue ball just drifted over to the left slightly.
One.
Well, not ideally on the blue. So may have to play for that red behind the black. And that will do nicely.
6. Seven. 13.
Yeah, had to play down for the blue. That's a nice little bump on the middle pocket, though, to keep a nice position on the blue.
Feels as though Gary Wilson has got his equilibrium back after circumstances in which he lost that third frame. You saw how frustrated he was. Routine black. Looked as though he was going to take a bite out of his cue, but of course, crucially, he was able to emerge at the end of that little mini session on a high with a frame-winning break, the 88 for 2 each.
19.
Yeah, that kiss didn't go as planned. He wanted it to be a little bit thicker, which would meant closer to the pink and black. So he's had a look at this red to the right middle and determined it will go.
26.
Still a tough pot, though. And looking at the plant as well. Already had a plant to that middle pocket. Nicely played, good recovery. The crowd appreciating that good recovery shot. How is he not on a red there? Just played the cannon to the red. Maybe didn't catch it thick enough, but still expected him to be on it. A little rub on the pink, and he'd have been there. But it drifted past the pink, and he's not on anything. He got the cannon, and for a moment he was on the red that he played for. I think the double is just a little bit too far down the table to be comfortable. So looking at the safety, possible plant, but looking at getting that cue ball in a safe place.
Gary Wilson, 34.
Not entirely safe. Just 12 points in it.
Certainly frustration for Gary Wilson, because had that cannon gone as intended, he was looking good for 3-2. He's had to suck it up, play safe. Just 12 between them.
a fraction harder, and he would have been in trouble. As it is, it's not a bad safety. But with the black going over the pocket, we might see a bit of safety here. We haven't seen much of it. That red going right over the pocket, and Zhou's going to be able to see it. But can he get to a colour? The black's in the way. I think he'd be able to maybe get to the pink if he plays it with right-hand side on the cue ball. Oh, he could screw past the black. That's even better. He had to hit that so thick to be able to play that shot he's played. Very nearly missed the red, actually. I'm playing it thick. But what a chance now. It's all about pressure, this game, and if you can keep in front, it keeps your opponent under pressure.
All sorts of stuff on cue and rest here. Not much feel with a shot like this, but the pot itself is straightforward. Yeah, this would be another good frame for Zhou to take, because it was looking good for Gary Wilson before that cannon went awry and he lost position.
8.
Very, very close match. It's got a 6-5 feel about it at the moment, even though there's still a long way to go before we reach the sharp end.
Well, if he can take blacks of these 5 reds, he wouldn't need the safest red near the middle pocket. I don't think he'll know that at this moment in time. No. That could be end of break. Cannon didn't go according to plan.
16.
Yeah, Zhou Yuelong's turn to be very frustrated. What a good chance that was, which has gone begging for now at least. And you can see he's pretty fed up about it.
He's contemplating taking the red onto the baulk corner. Very dangerous shot to play. Now looking at the safety.
Yuelong, 16.
Well, he hasn't left it in the best spot to say it was touching. Thought he could have found a more troublesome spot than that for Gary Wilson. Wow, I can't believe he stuck that on. And it's a good job that red went in the middle, because he would have had a red on to the right corner. Never afraid of going for his shots, Gary Wilson.
Both players feeling a bit frustrated at the moment at their inability to quite capitalise on the chances that they've had. This is another test of cueing for Zhou Yuelong.
Yeah, and again, had it gone in, it was a good chance to win. And could only leave the red that he was playing.
Just get the sense that Wilson is feeling a bit downhearted again at the moment with the way he's playing, and that has been a theme for quite a while now. He was in a very different mood after his performance against Chris Wakelin, which was impeccable, but it hasn't been quite the same today so far, albeit that, of course, he's still banging contention at 2-all. But even when he's been winning recently, he's not necessarily been satisfied with the way he's been. And I don't think he's satisfied right now. This frame, though, is still anyone's, just 8 points between them.
Yes, when Gary Wilson attempted that double, the red hit the angle and stayed down this end of the table, causing this problem that he's in now. He was going to play a little swerve shot there, but the problem with that is it's so easy just to hit it a touch too hard and you leave the red on. And that's simply because you've got to swerve it going down into the cue ball. And he's in this trouble because of the double. Attempted double here. It just caught that middle pocket bump, came back across the table and stayed behind the blue. The little kiss on the brown made it easy to play the snooker. Yep, too hard. And that was the problem. So this is a chance for Zhou Yuelong. Not an easy one this time round with the black where it is, those three reds surrounding the black. The red does go, and I'm sure he'll be going for it. Could play for the pink in the middle. He could play safe if he doesn't like it.
Never fun, is it, when you're this close to the object ball and you're playing into a blind pocket, judging the angle. Not easy. But he's got it.
Yeah, it was well worth playing, I thought, because he's taking a cue ball back down the table, which he could only leave the red that he's playing on. And if it does go in, it's given him a chance to win the frame here now. Again, he's overscrewed it slightly.
Three.
He's certainly getting hold of that cue ball, and that's because maybe new cloth. Another good recovery. He seems up for this semi-final. Zhou Yuelong.
Sure, he would have taken a lot from his previous home nation's final appearance last season in Belfast. It started so well for him, and then the match got away from him. A lot of that was to do with the excellence of Mark Allen, but
No.
they say that you learn more from your defeats than your victories, and I think his journey is being shaped by one or two setbacks, but definitely a lot of progress being made in his all-round game.
Time.
Alan McManus was making the point in his studio analysis that he's not necessarily a player blessed with a lot of cue power, but he does have a very nice touch, and he's also got a really good temperament under pressure. He's proved that already this week, not least against Stuart Bingham in the decider, when he held his nerve superbly. It wasn't just the opening red. A couple of awkward pots negotiated in that break that could have gone begging, so it's all looking up for Zhou Yuelong.
16.
Yeah, 24 points the difference now. Red colour red should see him safe. Torn between playing for the black or the pink. The black difficult to get to the last red from, and that's why he's chosen to play the pink, and he wanted to be the other side of the pink, but he could pop the pink and then play the snooker if he's not right behind the red. What a super shot he's played here. What a shot that was. Deep screw on the cue ball, screwing off the side cushion. Very difficult shot to play. Could have lost the frame had that not got in.
That's the point, isn't it? What confidence he showed there. If he misses that, then that red becomes Gary Wilson's and the frame switches again. But this has been a very impressive visit. And this, just to make absolutely sure. Once again, it's a frame where both players had had chances previously. Gary Wilson
29.
getting that slightly unfortunate kiss that took him out of position.
Yeah, then he played the double, didn't he? And
31.
it was very unfortunate. Two things happened to cause that snooker that Zhou Yuelong played, and that hitting the middle pocket bump was one of them, and then a little kiss on the brown was the other.
34.
And he's won the frame from that snooker. He wasn't going to take the red on to the left corner, but he decided to in the end.
And although this is nothing
38.
numerically special, it's been very well taken by Zhou, not least that superb pot into the centre pocket for perfect position on the red. Very confident shot. That's sending a message to Gary
43.
Wilson that, yeah, you're the defending champion. You've got a ranking title. I want one. And I'm going to make absolutely
49.
certain I give it everything in a bid to make that happen this weekend. Brilliant. Superb clearance of 56 from Zhou Yuelong. He's back in front here in Edinburgh. He's 3 away from the final. He leads 3-2. So
Thank
Zhou
you,
Yuelong
frame
back in
6.
front, 3-2,
Gary Wilson
and
to
it was a
break.
superb clearance. Gary Wilson breaking off. He had a chance in that frame. Was going nicely, in fact, just didn't quite get the cannon he wanted, and he looked utterly perplexed that somehow he'd lost position when he was looking good to move 3-2 in front himself.
Yeah, the break off, not the best. He's not getting enough side on the cue ball to take that cue ball behind the green. Just catching the reds a little bit too thin. This is a half chance. Yeah, good pot. Needs a good kiss. Oh, nearly. Now, does he take the green on? Don't think there's anything for the snooker. Just come off the side cushion, land up into the pack. It's a good long red. Takes nerve to play these shots. He's missed it.
Very long one.
Had he potted it, he would have hit it just a touch thicker, which would have meant he'd have been closer to this red. Yeah, good pot from Gary Wilson, but catching the jaws of the pocket wasn't in his plan. I don't think he's got any choice but to play the snooker. The brown too risky to play.
Gary Wilson, 1. Foul, no miss.
Yeah.
Gary Wilson, 4.
Keeps forgetting that these are new cloths and cushions and they do slide a little. He's got to try and aim for the red below the pink. Had he hit that one harder, he'd have left the red on. So it's important he gets the speed right here. If he does miss the reds, well, that's more like it, but he's short.
Foul, no miss. Gary
Misjudged
Wilson, 4.
the table quite a few times in a couple of frames ago. Gave 24 points away.
Thanks.
It's more like it.
Zhou looking to forge a 2-frame cushion and really put the pressure on the defending champion. Would have been buoyed by such a confident break to seal the 5th frame. Really did cue nicely. Took his shots on, was fearless. Both of these players seeking a 4th ranking final appearance. Gary Wilson missed out on the China Open initially and then lost to Mark Williams in the final of the British Open a couple of years ago. But his advantage over his opponent, of course, is that he knows what it takes to go all the way to the trophy.
Can he see enough of this red? No, doesn't look as though he can. Fractions. Had he been able to see that, I'm sure he'd have took it on. He can see it, but not enough to pot it. So I might just leave the cue ball on the black cushion now.
Just trying to plot his way to safety here. Zhou Yuelong doesn't want to leave Gary Wilson an easy starter. Wow.
Yeah, well judged. A little harder. He leaves the chance. How close was that? That was so close.
Oh, that is another cracker from Zhou Yuelong. He's not been able to hold on to the cue ball, but it was another great pot.
Yeah, it was. But unless he risks the brown. To roll up behind the brown here. There's the pressure of that red near the middle pocket if he misses the snooker.
Just feels as though Zhou is on the front foot in this match right now. Got himself in front with that great break. Having to settle for a safety off that terrific red, but he's got a good cue ball. His pot success is 4 percentage points better at 91 to Wilson's 87. 5 out of 7 from long range.
Good safety, cutting off the right side of the reds by playing the cue ball over to the left side of the table. Makes the safety return a lot more difficult.
This frame is now into its 14th minute. Still a long way to go. Big frame, clearly. Can Zhou get himself 2 in front, give himself a buffer?
That could have gone worse. Wasn't far away from the pot. Wow. And because he got so close, it stayed right over the pocket. Great attempt. I thought it was in. I think he did.
One.
And that cue ball just holding up. And he's got choice of reds to play for. One to the left corner, one to the right corner. Well, he'd have liked to have been low on this red.
6.
And then he could have opened more reds up, stayed on the black or yellow. As it is, he's high on this red. He can still pot it, but he can't open more reds up from it.
Seven.
Again, he could decide to screw into the reds with the advantage of that red. That's on to the left corner. Brave shot to play if he does decide to play it. And he could just drop it in for the red. Which is what he's done.
Yeah. 9.
Once again, you could see the frustration in Gary Wilson. Having taken that red on, he got so close to potting it, but he knew, having just missed, that he was leaving it for Zhou Yuelong.
Yeah, the problem now, though, Philip, is that because he didn't go into the pack of reds, he's got to leave himself on a colour here to be able to get another red, and I'm not sure where the next red's coming from. I don't even think he can land on the black to be able to disturb them. So this next shot, very important if he wants to keep the break going.
Ten.
If there's a red, that goes to the left middle, and he's looked at the red just below the pink. Well, he can open more reds up here. But such a tough pot.
Very long. 10.
And he could have left something easier for Gary Wilson. Just a little bit of pressure telling maybe. But I think it was the shot previously for me where off the yellow, he could have opened more reds up, stayed on a red.
Certainly be relieved to see the easy red covered by the black.
Pressure on this one. Yeah, lots of it. Has he got away with it? I don't think he has.
And the body language becoming more demonstrative now from Gary Wilson, and not especially positive either. I think he feels as though things are going a little awry in this match at the moment. He played that red in the knowledge that he could so easily have had a straightforward one into the left corner, and now Zhou Yuelong has the chance.
Yeah, immediately though, he gets the wrong side of the blue, so I've got to take the more difficult black. But if it goes in, he's going to be on choice of 5 reds. Just a little bit of tightness coming in Zhou's arm at the moment. Not ideal on this next red. Should have been the right side of the blue though, and everything would have been simple.
It's a big moment. It is that opportunity he's been looking for to move 2 clear and within 2 of victory.
9.
Oh, that's more like it. Perfectly on the blue. And great chance to take a 2-frame lead.
$14. 50. 22. 23.
Yeah, it was the shot previously that caused this problem. Thin cut to the corner now,
40.
because he wasn't ideal on the black. .33 points. The lead at the moment. He's overcut it. The pressure's beginning to tell.
Yuelong, 30.
Yes, the opportunity to forge that two-frame cushion. Just making the chance a little bit trickier, and a reprieve for Gary Wilson, who might have feared that he was going to fall to adrift at that visit. As it is, he comes back only 33 behind. Didn't really get close to this one.
Yep, as I said, the shot previously when he had the easy red and left himself straighter on the black than he would have wanted. Had he just dropped a little further, it's a simple stun up for the two reds. He had to really force the black in, and even then, he wasn't ideally on the red. So, Gary Wilson with a chance again. Yeah, it could have been easier, and that's what he thinks of that.
In one of our features, Cut Above the Rest, when the players are asked to discuss their careers, their strengths, their weaknesses, Wilson would be the first to admit that temperamentally he's not the strongest, but he also added that sometimes it can be good to get angry. Well, he's got to try and channel the frustration he's feeling at the moment into something positive, but he may not get a chance to do it in this frame.
Well, that's not the best shot that Zhou's ever played either. It's beginning to tell on both players. There's no more intervals, so, you know, they're both got to do it out there. No chance to go to the practice table, play a few shots. Another big shot. Good pot, but not the best kiss in the world.
Six.
Certainly signs of tension in this frame. Just edging his way towards a lead that could carry him to the 4-2 advantage he's craving. But still 59 there, so the job far from done.
Such a tough shot, this. Cut back into a blind pocket. But it's a good shot. Now, can he cue this black? Or is he slightly hampered? Makes a difference. Slightly hampered.
Yeah.
Just taking a little time out while Leo Scullion cleans the cue ball. He knows the significance of the next few minutes.
Well, he's definitely favourite in this frame. He's got a 40-point lead, and he's got the yellow and the brown safe-ish. The green on the cushion, and red on the cushion.
Very awkward cueing, though. This is missable.
Cued it well, though, didn't he? And that should be the winner. Only the red needed.
14.
Yeah, I think he's really solid when the pressure comes on, Zhou Yuelong. He showed that against Bingham in the final frame. Possibly something that wasn't the case earlier in his career, but that's the key ball. And the frustration mounts for the defending champion. Gary Wilson was able to get out of the mini session before the interval at 2-all, but he hasn't really been able to find his game since then. He's only made one break of substance. The 88 that won him that fourth frame, his next highest, a modest 35. That's going to have to change. Food for thought for Wilson. But what a terrific black it was. Queuing over the red. He made that look easy, but of course the pressure's off now. The pressure was most definitely on when he potted the black. That was the key pot that has given him back-to-back frames for the first time in this semi-final.
Up to 4.
The first time that he's led by 2.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Yuelong 34, Gary Wilson 4.
An academic foul at the end of frame 6, but it's Zhou Yuelong who's taking a grip on this semi-final. Gary Wilson will have to dig deep again, as he's done already this week. He's 2 adrift. He trails 4 frames to 2. Gary Wilson was virtually perfect in his whitewash victory over Chris Wakelin to set up this semi-final today with Zhou Yuelong, but today his game hasn't quite been there, and that's why he's trailing Zhou by 4 frames to 2. He looks the stronger at the moment. He too can play better than he has, but he just looks that little bit more composed. Wilson has shown some negative body language of late. Once again, not a great break-off to leave the red.
Oh, it's incredible where he's left this chance twice on his break-off. Look where the cue ball is. Didn't cost him the first time he did it.
He'll be frustrated, won't he? Because the one thing he doesn't want to do is let Wilson rebuild some confidence that seems to have evaporated a bit in the last couple of frames, and you can see his annoyance at that. That was a gimme, a gift, really. It is that season, but not on the snooker table. Oh, hang on, no. Oh, Wilson. He's really struggling at the moment. We've seen this at times this week, and of course he's recovered. Jingzi Hao, he was all at sea, 3-1 down, and then played brilliantly. He's got to somehow recapture that inspiration, because at the moment his game just isn't there.
No, he tried to swing the cue ball past that corner pocket, but all he achieved was swinging it into the pocket. But hasn't left anything, but failed to punish.
Yeah, Zhou will be mighty relieved that the poor break-off did not prove to be significant.
Again, not a good safety though from Zhou Yuelong, leaving the cue ball on the balk line. And similar type of shot, Gary Wilson.
most worrying statistic from Wilson's point of view is his pot success today. It's down at 83%. That is not what we saw in the quarter-final. Zhou Yuelong still operating in the 90s, in contrast. He's just that little bit better in all departments at the moment. That's why he's got this 2-frame buffer. The prize for the winner, of course, a meeting with either John Higgins or Noppon Sankam. They do battle this evening from just after 7 o'clock. We're on air from 7:15 UK time. Ronnie O'Sullivan will be joining Rachel and the team. Sankam was quite outstanding last night in a high-quality match with Sanderson Lam, who was appearing in his first ranking quarter-final and played well in defeat. And as we know, Higgins overcame that mid-match stumble against Tom Ford from 3-0 up to 3 each to get the job done impressively, to the delight of his home fans. So it should be a fascinating match tonight. Higgins looking for his first ranking title in nearly 3 years. Oh dear.
Yeah. Chance for Gary Wilson, and it's not the best chance with the black and the pink where they are at the moment. Things have got serious for Gary.
One.
That's a good pot. And he's the right side of the blue to come back to the reds. Certainly helps getting the blue back on its spot. He found a nice gap here.
Six. Seven.
The snooker has been frustrating for Wilson since the interval, but that could change if he can make something substantial here. The confidence could come back just as quickly as it's ebbed away. But at the moment, it's a big if.
Yeah, he's looking at this red to the left corner, but he's certainly got one to the left middle. That one obviously is easier. And just enough angle on the blue.
$18. $19.
Nicely played onto the black. It would help if the black spot's held. It would go onto the pink spot. Or the black.
26.
Free to go again. It certainly goes to this corner.
27.
And goes to the other corner as well. So good chance this from the poor safety from Zhou Yuelong, who played about 4 on the bounce, started with the break-off. All of a sudden, you know, the winning line is in view. And winning gets harder
34.
for some people.
$35.
And Wilson has proved time and time again this week that he can emerge from tight matches. 3 times, as Jimmy mentioned in the studio, he's 1-4-3. Oh, but he's missed the red, and this has been the pattern, really. Just when it looks as though his game is going to click into gear, something like that happens, and again, the frustration is palpable.
Yeah, what has Zhou Yuelong got, though?
One.
Because he looked to be suffering himself a little bit with his shot selection. Zhou Yuelong.
Well, this is now a huge moment in the match. We saw Zhou punish Gary Wilson's miss black in the 3rd frame with a clearance for 2-1.
8.
This is even more significant. If he can punish the red he's just missed into the right centre, he'll be 3 up with 4 to play, and that's
9.
a substantial lead.
He's in Zhou's hands.
$16. $17.
Left it short, but there is another red that he could take.
22.
Just 16 points behind now. And what a massive
23.
frame this is, really. If you could get to 5, Zhou. He's on the verge, isn't he? Just 1 frame.
Particularly as a result of a pot that Gary Wilson has been potting regularly this week, but has gone astray this time. This is it.
Well, he could have done with a little bit more angle here on this red. He may have to play this at speed now, where he would have liked to have dropped it in to the pocket. So this is missable. He had to power that one in, didn't he? And didn't he play it well? Terrific shot that from Zhou Yuelong. So scores all level.
48.
Three reds, 3 blacks. He wouldn't need the more difficult green, which is still attainable, but only to the green, only to the yellow pocket. So it's important he gets
49.
blacks here. No, sir.
Yuelong 39.
And this could switch around again, yet.
Nerves are really playing a part in this semi-final now for both players. This time it shows turn to feel exasperation at what might have been there. Now, can Gary Wilson make the most of this reprieve? Just 1 point behind, 43 left.
And he is going to need the more difficult green.
Just delighted to be back at the table, I'm sure.
White.
Yeah, sometimes when you've been let off the hook, it just spurs you on. He was looking at a 5-2 deficit there. Could be just one frame in a few moments.
Nine.
Not ideally on the blue. And the problem now is he's got to pot the blue and be on the yellow to be able to get to the green. So it's no good just being on the yellow. And he doesn't want to be straight on the yellow either. He's not hard enough.
14.
I'm not sure if he can get to the green from there. It would take some shot. Well, it's a great attempt, but it doesn't go to the green pocket. Second prize, he's got the snooker if he wants to play it. $15 points, the lead now.
Gary Wilson 16.
He'll be kicking himself. Zhou Yuelong missing the black off the spot.
And now he's got to hit the screen and leave it safe. Wilson only needs green and brown.
Wow, and a miss. Gary Wilson 4.
19 the difference. I don't know what he's come down to look at. Maybe checking it wasn't a free ball.
Yeah. Thanks.
What a gigantic frame this is. Oh, goodness.
Wow, miss.
Well, that won't be going back.
Gary Wilson 4.
Just needs the green.
Is this the moment that the match began to turn back in Gary Wilson's favour? He was looking thoroughly fed up. Oh, no. Unbelievable.
Oh, you can't get your breath. He couldn't miss yesterday. And that was a real chance to inflict some mental pain on Zhou Yuelong. Might still do it, but he's let him off the hook so far.
Yeah, he's suffering at the moment. He desperately needs this frame.
Yeah, good pot. And that cue ball is travelling down the table. Well, not ideal on the brown, but it's a chance. 20 points, the difference. So he needs them all.
No, overcut, and in missing it, he was always going to leave it. Well, what a dramatic frame this has been. And real nail biter.
Get this one.
Well, he missed frame ball just now by a margin. But as he pointed out, that one was not to be missed. But what a monumentally big frame in this semi-final. Not pretty, edgy, nervy, and dramatic.
Yeah, and what a difference this could be, though, because he needed 2 snookers, but if he pots the blue, he only needs 1 to tie. So what a difference that could make.
5.
Well, that's not the best shot he's ever played. Thought he would have tried to stun the cue ball up to somewhere round about where the pink spot is. 19 in the game.
I think Zhou will still be thinking about the missed black when the frame was in his hands. He's had chances since then, but that was the moment that things started to go wrong for him in this frame when he was eyeing a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, but it gives Zhou a chance to forget about that by playing a few shots here. This is the black that he missed. Missed it by a long way, actually.
It's there. What a nerve-shredding frame that was. How on earth has Gary Wilson won it? I'm sure he doesn't know. He doesn't care either because he has. And he's back in the match. Zhou's missed the boat there. It's now 4-3. High drama here in Edinburgh, and the destination of this first semi-final still unknown. Let's look ahead now to the new year. And, of course, the Masters live from Alexandra Palace. It starts on the 7th of January. You can watch every ball live here on Eurosport and across our digital platforms.
Gary Wilson to break.
Gary Wilson must feel like he's dodged a few bullets there. His game had pretty much evaporated, but somehow he's won that all-important to stay in touch. And for Zhou Yuelong, well, he'll be equally mystified how he's not 5-2 up. Of course, he missed the black and then had a further chance, but unfortunately for him, the brown stayed out of the pocket. This is the black he missed. Maybe slightly hampered with his cueing, but you would still have expected him to get it. And then he missed the brown, which was unmissable for Gary Wilson, as he somewhat sarcastically pointed out. So it's back in the balance again. Zhou's in front, but only by 1 when it should have been 3, Zhou.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It really is. And how do you get over that kind of thing? I mean, if you've been in lots of semi-finals and finals and won lots of tournaments, then I think you can recover a little bit more easily than if you've never won a tournament and you've only won 1. A lot more difficult to get over, I think. But as Philip has said, things can change again. I'm sure as we get to the business end, as we are doing, there'll be more drama, more misses.
Yeah, still a possible 4 frames to come in this one, and It did feel earlier in the afternoon that we could be heading for a 6-5. That's still very much on the cards now. Might not have been had Zhou won that frame. Gary Wilson would have had a huge task on his hands because he's not been able to play at the level he did, or anything like it, frankly, against Chris Wakelin.
Well, these shots become very much more difficult now. Got to try and avoid the pack of reds in case he misses it. Yeah, missed it by a long way. Now has he got away with it? Can he get through the gap of the green and brown? The answer's no. Good pot. Very good pot. And all of a sudden, there's a bounce in his step again.
His highest break since he made the 88 for 2-all at the interval, just 42.
Bang.
That was close. A chance to open more reds up. Great split. Oh, but a red's found the pocket.
9.
Would you believe it?
5.
He could not have hit the pink any better. It was bang on the nose. He split the reds beautifully, but it's an occupational hazard with this particular shot.
I suppose the only saving grace you could say is that he's not left anything easy. Why me? Why me?
Yeah, the irony is that it's probably the best shot that Wilson's hit, certainly since the interval, but still out of luck. What can Zhou do with this chance?
One.
The work has been done for him with that great split of the reds. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Choice of reds.
8.
Crowd certainly engrossed by this. It's not always been the most fluent snooker, but of course that usually means the drama is at redlining levels. And the previous frame was like a match within itself, really. All sorts happening at the back end of it. But this is a chance for Zhou just to compose himself
16.
again after the frustration of losing that 7th frame, and with it the chance to be 3 up within 1 of victory.
Yeah, it's the kind of chance that he needed as well. An easy starter, the reds spread all over the place.
17.
As you said, Philip, he did all the hard work, Gary Wilson, but knocked a red in. And I suppose when you bust the pack as hard as that, spreading them all over the place, there's always that chance. It's unfortunate, it's unlucky. You can say what you like, but it's possible. Underhit that one by a long way. This is the shot again. Couldn't legislate for that red going in. It wasn't a direct plant. Just very, very unfortunate. Now, he should play up for the green and brown here instead of the blue, but if he gets correctly on the blue, that's no problem, and he has. Underhit it.
You can feel the tension in every shot from both players now, really.
Yeah, that was such an easy shot to get to the reds from perfectly on the blue. Just got a little bit of work to do here.
31.
I think he can just about cue it. Yeah, good shot again. Those kind of shots are missable at this stage of the match.
38. Nine. $46.
Gary Wilson still, no doubt, bemoaning his misfortune. He couldn't have hit the pack any better, but fortunately for him, the
47.
red went in with that blue that he potted, and it looks likely to cost him the frame. When these could have been his, and it could have been 4 each.
Well, may have to take the red to the corner. He's not ideal on the other two.
50 in front, still 67 there.
55.
But now only 59, so this black, one more red should do it.
He'd have given, what would he have given to be straighter on the black? Made it simple to get to the reds.
Yes, his positional play has not been A1 in this break, and that belies the significance of this particular visit. But this red should put him 2 up with 3 to play.
Yeah, well played. These should have all been Gary Wilson's, though. Played very positive, opening that pack of reds the way he did. Now, could be his second century of the day.
70. $71.
Needs that difficult rink to do that.
$77.
May have to be the brown.
Yuelong 77 and
77 will do well enough. Gary Wilson was unlucky. He split the reds perfectly, but one went in with the blue. Zhou Yuelong did the rest. A break of 77. He leads 5 frames to 3. Zhou Yuelong on the cusp then of a 4th ranking final in his bid to land a title. He leads defending Scottish Open champion Gary Wilson 5-3. More drama in the 8th. Splitting the reds perfectly, as it turned out for his opponent, because the red went in with the blue. He held himself together with that break of 77 in order to move 2 up with 3 to play. And he has scored the heavier of the 2 today. His pot success has been better throughout this match than Wilson's, which is down at 83, which is a mile away from where he was against Chris Wakelin in the quarters yesterday. He's found a red, but this is where Wilson has already turned it on this week. Remember, he was 3-1 down to Xing Hao. He was all over the office, as Jimmy White would say, and he then played lights out snooker from there. Can he reproduce those heroics? Turn this match his way.
Well, what a terrific starter. Dead under the cushion. It was a better break from Zhou Yuelong.
6.
Now, if you can pot this black, this is where it was, look. What a shot that was. I was about to say, if he can leave himself short on this next red, he can open more reds up. Oh, that's too short. Oh, wow. I've no doubt he'll go for it. This has to go in. Yeah, great shot.
14.
Great shot. That one hasn't gone according to plan.
21.
Tough red to the middle. Suppose the saving grace is that you can't leave anything on, except the red is playing. Good pot.
22.
And that eased the pressure.
The body language suggests that Wilson is going to go for it now. I think he's thoroughly fed up with the way he's played this afternoon for most of the match and the way things have at times conspired against him, as they tend to do in the sport, as Alan has pointed out. It's all part of it, but
29.
just get the impression that if his title defence is to end here, he's not going to go down without a fight. He's going to get on the front foot and see what happens.
30.
So, does he open the reds up here? He could play for the loose one. And that's what he's done. I think that's a wise choice because it's an easier
47.
pack to go into from the blue. Big wide pack.
38.
Oh, he's finished straight on the blue. He needed a good angle on it. There is another red that will go in the cluster. It was such a good chance that to go into them.
43.
Going into them here. Yeah, great shot.
44.
Couldn't have played that any better. Terrific shot.
Backs to the wall snooker this from Gary Wilson. He's come out swinging.
Yeah, and what a shot he played to get in. His very first shot.
45. Sorry, 46. $47.
Yeah, just enough room to get the black. Well, nothing he could do. First break off he's made, that was a good one. Left the cue ball dead on the top cushion.
Only Wilson's second half century of the afternoon. That's been part of the problem.
54.
He's just not been scoring. Mistakes have crept in when he's had chances. Still hasn't quite won this frame yet. Good shot required with the rest. But that should be the key shot. And this is a reminder of what won him this title last season and what has got him to this semi-final.
Yeah, I suppose Zhou can sit there thinking, well, I've done nothing wrong in this frame. My opponent has played superbly. Overhit it. A little bit of adrenaline there.
Still needs this blue and another red.
Hey.
He obviously feels that the luck has not been with him today. Whether or not it has been, this has been an excellent break. He is not going to give up his title without a fight.
74.
And all he's got to do
75.
is repeat the trick for 2 more frames. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
Just sending a message, though, isn't it, to Zhou Yuelong that he's not done by a long chalk. It's not just that he's won the frame, the way in which he's won it, breezing round the table.
Thank you.
There's been
83.
very little of this today from Gary Wilson, but is he saving his best till last? When it matters most.
Well, what a great way to respond to the pain of the last frame when he knocked that red in. Showing great character.
91.
Made the point earlier that he himself admits, as we see the terrific red he got in with to start this break, his temperament isn't necessarily his strong suit. He is wont to getting a bit cross, and we've seen evidence of that this afternoon, but
98.
he doesn't necessarily think that's a bad thing. If you channel it in a positive way, then
99.
it can be an advantage, I guess, and he's certainly done that in this frame. Brilliant. Really, really impressive.
102.
Point of no return, and he's produced his best snooker of the match.
Okay. 104.
His 4th century of the tournament. None more important.
107. 111. 116.
'Ironic that Zhou Yulong's best break of the afternoon has resulted in Gary Wilson's best break of the afternoon. Suddenly, the game is easy again.
22.
Fabulous stuff. 122. Gary Wilson bursts back into life. The defending champion is far from done yet. Zhou Yuelong still needs 1. Wilson needs 2. Zhou leads 5-4. A classy show of defiance from the defending Scottish Open champion.
10.
Gary Wilson, I should say. Fantastic break of 122. He came out all guns blazing. Can he keep it going? He's got to do it for 2 more frames. Zhou Yuelong looking for 1. They're both looking for a place in their 4th ranking final. But, of course, for Gary Wilson, the opportunity to make a successful title defence, to replicate Mark Selby in this tournament, who hadn't even entered it before he first showed up and then won it, and then won it again the following year. But for Zhou Yuelong, looking for his first title, still in front, but he'll have taken note of how well Wilson played in that frame. Brilliant opening red from tight under the baulk rail. And a 4th century of the tournament.
Well, a good safety from Zhou Yuelong. That's the red. That got him in. Followed that with a good brown as well, I might add. Yeah, it was a good safety, and he forced Gary Wilson into playing that red, and now a chance. Zhou Yuelong, what can he do? Got to get Gary Wilson out of his head Not think about what he's going to be missing, but what he's going to be getting.
What he wouldn't give for the composure he showed against Stuart Bingham in the final frame yesterday when he got in with a great red and made a match-winning break of 70. Bingham unable to get the snookers he needed. Test of nerve now as much as skill for Zhou. Oh, and he's failed the test for now. He can't believe it. And that's a positive sign for his opponent.
Yeah, he's struggling. Will he get another chance?
One.
Simple black off the spot.
Eight.
Now, he's going to go into the game. Go into them again here. Doesn't want to knock another red in. Could have been kinder. He's got a red to the middle, but
13.
it's very missable. Does he play it? He'd be leaving a chance, Zhou Yuelong, if he missed it. Could be his last shot, and that's, you know, what he's got to put together, got to think about.
What a big shot this is.
Oh, what a brave shot. What a... Oh, wait for it. Oh.
Carry road from 13.
Can you believe it?
Only snooker can produce drama like this.
Absolutely. The last roll. Saving grace is that he hasn't left anything easy. Zhou Yuelong. I can't believe he's thinking of taking this red on. I think a few safety shots might be in order for Zhou, but if it goes in, and it has. Great shots. He could do with a good kiss. Well, that's not too bad. He can play the yellow, possibly the brown. It's a tough table, this, though, with the black and the pink where they are. These are difficult shots now at this stage.
Well, you've got to give Zhou some credit. although that's not gone to plan, a heavenward glance, because having missed the black just now when he had a really good chance, he didn't flinch from the long pot, but positionally, no good.
Yeah, or the tough yellow. I mean, that was missable as well. Full credit for taking those 2 balls on.
Very long 3.
Frustration for Zhou, because he did play 2 terrific pots, but just had to counter 10 slowly and play the right shot, the safety, which he's done, and he's got a good cue ball.
Yeah, what he should do, though, is make sure he gets the object ball safe. And I don't think he's managed that. Yeah, great shot. Yeah, he got a good cue ball, but he forgot about the object ball. Another chance for Gary Wilson. Terrific pot.
That pot success is finally going in the right direction for Gary Wilson. It's been down in the low 80s for most of the afternoon, but of course the superb century that he made greatly helped. Hang on, hang on. Well, you could not make this up.
Gary Wilson, 5.
He certainly couldn't. What drama. How the crowd are enjoying this, though. Always looked a bit too thin.
One. Six.
Not the greatest table at the moment. Clearly the pink's out of commission. Number of reds in somewhat awkward spots, but Zhou Yuelong will just be pleased to be back at the table. Hang on.
7.
Well, he could try and bring the pink into play here. It's a big target. He doesn't have to. There's other shots he could play. But if you want to be really positive, bring the pink into play, along with the reds, of course. Yep, hasn't finished on one, though.
12.
We've seen a lot of that from both players today. It's been one of those matches where nothing has come easy.
Yeah, and he's got to try and cover that red that's closest to the right corner. That's out in the open. Cover it or move it. Well, I think he's taking this on. Ah, what a great recovery shot. Gary Wilson just couldn't believe that shot. A little short of pace. Didn't You want to be this far away from the red, especially if you're straight. I'll do well to get back to the blue from there. He's done well. Very good shot again from Zhou Yuelong.
Well, he's showing some mettle here, isn't he? We saw his frustration just now, banging his cue on the floor when he didn't land nicely, but he bit the bullet, took on the red, got it, and that's another terrific shot to keep this break going.
And again, he could try and bring the pink into play. Unless that's the plant, he's unfortunate again.
24.
Can he make it? He can't believe it either. Is it a plant, Gary?
Well, judging by Wilson's reaction, he thinks it is.
Well, we haven't seen it yet, but yeah, it looks like a plant. Problem is, he's hitting the wrong side of the red. He can't look.
Wilson's concerns were unfounded, as it turned out.
Long 24.
So on we go. Just 14 between them. Tension at the max. That was a long way off.
Wow. It was a long way off.
And Wilson had a very presentable chance earlier in this frame.
Yeah.
Missed a red to the right corner when he was in. Just allowing his frustrations to get the better of him at the moment. That wasn't anywhere near the pocket, really. That's what this game can do to you.
It's still a tough table. Those two reds closest together will go to the left middle, but got to be able to get onto a colour to be able to play those two reds. The black is in the way of playing the blue and trying to get on those reds. Be a brave man to drop the pink in. You can only sit and hope. This is a big shot. Well, they're all big shots now. And he's not on the reds. Well, shouts have come on, Gary, but I'm not sure if he can pot this red. It does go, but it would be a very good shot to play it. Suicide shot. He needs a cover on these two reds, and he's got it. That wasn't the best safety. It was a little fortunate, that. And he knows it.
Crowd absolutely engrossed in this. It's been a real thriller. Errors on both sides, but that has contributed greatly to the drama.
He's left a chance at this red unless he gets the hamper, and he has. Another bit of fortune there. He'd have been having a go at this red otherwise. He may well have a go at this red. Play the cue ball onto the black cushion just in case you miss it. No, just a safety. Or is it? Now, can he see the red? That wasn't a good safety, was it? You can't see the easy red. And the amount of pressure on this red, because he knows he's going to be leaving a chance if he misses it. What a big shot.
Stealing himself. If he gets it, then right back in the frame. If he misses it, could be curtains. Oh, yes. That's a beauty. Gutsy, steely stuff from the defending champ.
He started playing a lot of poor shots, Zhou Yuelong. Now, he's got one awkward red.
7. 8.
Closer to the cushion than he would have wanted.
14. 15.
Nice angle on the pink to drop him behind this last red. Well, this could be the shot that takes us to the decider.
21.
Could play for the blue here. Nicely played. Slightly the wrong side of the blue.
It was a fantastic red, given the context, the situation in the match from Gary Wilson to get in for this break. Really gutsy stuff. This is the red in question. He had to get it. He knew if he didn't, he was leaving Zhou a match-winning chance. And you saw Zhou there sportingly just tapping his leg. He appreciated the quality of that shot. It was really gutsy.
Green and brown needed. There goes the green, and nicely on the brown.
Well, this break is only 32, but it's the most important of the match for Gary Wilson to give himself the chance to keep his title defence on track, take us all the way. And it's a match that has felt for a very long time, even from the first 2 or 3 frames, that it was likely to go the distance, and it will do.
41.
Zhou Yuelong has had a couple of opportunities. Mr. Black early in this frame.
47.
But anything is missable under this pressure. Both have felt it this afternoon. Who's going to handle it the better in the decider? That is a magnificent break from Gary Wilson to go with the century made to keep his hopes alive. And after nearly 3 hours of drama, it's 5-all. Well, I thought the shootout was last week, but that's where we are right now. 1 frame to determine who will win, who will go through to the Scottish Open final. Will it be the defending champion, Gary Wilson? Will it be Zhou Yuelong, searching for his first ranking title? The crowd have been fantastic, and they raise the decibel level again for this final frame. Zhou Yuelong to break, and he'll be keen to make sure it's a good one. He's brought a red up again.
Yeah, I think he may have covered it this time, though. Fortunately, he's got a good cue ball. And the last time he got a good cue ball, he knocked one in, but there's nothing to knock in this time round. May just land up into the pack here because it's dangerous to play the cue ball back down the table. Well, if I was Zhou, I'd leave the cue ball where it is.
Switching ball.
Oh, well, that throws a different light on things. You can play down the table, behind the yellow, maybe.
You can hear a pin drop inside this Meadowbog Sports Arena right now. I fancy it's not going to remain that way. The calm before the storm. Who's going to get the first chance? That's not a great shot. He needs cover.
Well, it looks like it's Zhou's going to get the first chance. The safety much too thick. Everything's difficult, though.
One.
First chance then falls to Zhou Yuelong. What's that old adage? Just give me one more chance. The decider.
Well, Jimmy pointed out how well he held himself together against Bingham in the deciding frame. Got him with a great red, a rather tougher one than the one he's just potted, actually. Right under the baulk rail and made 70, and it wasn't a straightforward break, but this was very well cued under this pressure. Can he repeat the dose and get himself into the final? Runner-up at the Northern Ireland Open last season to Mark Allen. He was leading 4-1. And then the match turned around spectacularly in Allen's favour. He won 8 in a row. He'd love to give himself another crack at a home nations title.
Well, no reason why he shouldn't get a pretty good lead here.
16. 17.
And if you can keep it as simple as this, the
24.
cue ball this distance away from the object ball, that eases the pressure on the shots.
$25.
He'll be feeling good right now with the position of the balls.
One moment, please.
A mini timeout just to break up the drama a little as Leo Scullion gets the pink where it should be.
Thank you. 31.
Gary Wilson has got to be prepared mentally in case there's a twist, and there have been so many in this match. It would be something of a surprise if there isn't
32.
at least a couple more, but Zhou Yuelong will be hoping that there aren't. He wants this done and dusted at this visit.
Yeah, just thinking that the pink would have been a good ball to play for there. Could have opened the reds a little and stayed on the two reds closest together. Shorter pace.
49.
And Gary saw that red going towards the pocket. He knew it was right in the centre. Now, does he go into the reds here? He could play a cannon to those two reds closest together. If he does decide to play that shot, if he could just miss the reds on the right-hand side, he'd get the cannon to those two reds. That's what he's pointing at, look. Just wants to catch the reds thin, which would take him onto those two reds. Will he play it? Yep, he did, and it's worked out nicely.
45.
Resigned look there from Gary Wilson. But it's not over yet.
46.
I think the red at the top of the pack will go to the right middle. Just overscrewed that one a little bit. He's got this red to the corner.
53.
Could be he played for that red.
$54.
Now the red at the apex of the pack will go to that right middle if he can't get to the easy red. He could. He's still going. Needs a couple more
61.
reds with colours. The pink does go.
62.
Needs to finish on a red. Any red will do. Is he on one? Anxious looks, because there's still 75
68.
left, even though he's 68 in front. Can he get that one? He's bridging over the other red as well.
One pot away from a place in the final.
He should play down into balk. Present, yeah, that was the shot to play, just in case he did miss it. Snooker's required. Just one.
The cannon could have been kinder, couldn't it? Had he got a full ball cannon on that green, then he would have been sitting pretty to finish this frame off for sure. As it is, there's still some hope for Gary Wilson. What a fine break. Once again, it's been from Zhou Yuelong.
Well, he could play the snooker, could play the brown, could play the blue.
Yuelong, 69.
Just pushing the brown to a safe spot for some insurance. Again, Zhou Yuelong has shown his coolness under pressure. He got the chance, he knocked in the long red, and he's made a break that has taken Gary Wilson to the brink of defeat. He needs a snooker. Only 67 remaining. He's fought back very impressively from 5-3 behind. He's given it everything, Wilson, in his bid to keep his title defence intact.
Yeah, you said it right. He has given everything. Provided us with a terrific match. It's still not over yet.
Yeah, that red would surely have sealed it, but just the one snooker. And we've seen matches, frames retrieved from a couple of snookers required more than once this week in Edinburgh. What a time for it to happen again.
He needs a black, really, from this red.
One.
Pink will do.
Yeah,
7.
what he wanted, not nicely on a red. Just looking to get himself back into the frame by potting a few and then thinking about laying a really good snooker, but it's not gone to plan.
Yeah.
Zhou Yuelong on the brink, but not quite there yet. A bit more suffering to be done.
Yep, he needs the black from this red. The pink, he could only tie with one snooker. Good pot.
Thank you.
And he'd like to leave behind the black. It's in a good spot there for snookers. If he could get another 2 reds, 2 blacks here. Well, felt he had no choice but to play for this red. Can't blame him for that. Would have liked to have left it there, but
15.
didn't have the option.
16.
Zhou still looking understandably anxious because he knows this match is not yet won. It's just one snooker.
Yeah, he's got 1 foot in the final.
$23.
He'll be pleased he's put the brown safe. Looking at the scoreboard, but he does need a black with this red. Otherwise, it's 1 snooker to tie.
24.
Nicely played. With a touch of right-hand side on the cue ball to come onto the black.
$31.
Oh, and he's brought the brown out as well. Oh, this game has changed again.
Zhou Yuelong must be thinking, what have I got to do to get this match won? Gary Wilson showing tremendous tenacity in a bid to hold on to the Stephen Hendry trophy. He's giving it absolutely everything.
Well, what he's got to think about here is if he misses the red, he mustn't leave the red on to be able to get to the black. Yep, nicely played.
38 the difference, 35 left, final frame. Place in the Scottish Open final at stake. What a match.
And the brown and the green in good spots for snookers. Can he swerve that? These are anxious moments for Zhou Yuelong. He's got 1 foot in the final.
1.
May as well pot the red. Free balls don't come into play. Still needs 1 snooker. The brown in a good place for snookers. And that's about right where he wants to be. To stun him behind the brown. Too much stun on the cue ball.
It was an 8.
How Zhou would love to get control of this exchange from here. Doesn't want Gary Wilson on the front foot in his bid to get the snooker he needs to turn this frame around. Disappointed that that didn't quite go to plan, but he's still fighting. He's still in with a chance. And if he were to get the snooker, look at the balls. There's nothing safe at the moment anyway. Zhou could still be 1 shot away from calamity.
Yeah, when he potted the ball and pushed the brown safe, he could have played a tight snooker in behind the brown or green. But chose to play the ball safe. And it's all about choice, that kind of shot. I think I would have preferred the snooker. You would have had to get out of it and get safe. That's close.
That's exactly where Zhou wants to be right now. His opponent needs the snooker, and he's in one. Where's this going to end up?
It needs to go in. And it has done. Well, it's still snookered. But better that than the yellow on the lip of the pocket.
Well, yeah, that would have been end of match.
What a game!
You said it. If the yellow stays up, that's the end of his title defence.
I can't see it going safe, whichever way I play it.
Gallows humour, but still an opportunity to somehow get out of this frame unscathed. If he can leave the screen safe.
Eddie Wilson, 2.
Well, it's not safe, but it's not easy either. This will need good cueing from Zhou Yuelong.
How his heart must be beating now.
31 in front if he gets it with only 22 left. And he has got it. It's right in the middle. There's the fist pump. What an afternoon of drama it's been. If you try to write this script, people would say, no, that's too far-fetched. But that's snooker for you. It never fails.
3 snookers needed.
Very long 3.
2 snookers if he pots the brown.
We saw the fist pump against Stuart Bingham, and we've seen another one. A massive ask now for Wilson.
This looks good, though. Oh, that's a beauty. Excellent shot, and not easy to hit this. Got to think about free balls, of course. So, it's
Gary Wilson, 4.
still 2 snookers, but only 1 snooker if he pots the brown.
No miss, of course, because he's at the point of no return. Snooker's needed, but that's one of them.
So 1 snooker required now.
One to tie.
What drama.
Gary Wilson, 4.
What price? A respotted black after a snooker was required. 3, in fact, just now, and that is another one.
That fist pump could have been a little early. Got to think about the free ball.
Amazing, amazing.
Wow. Gary Wilson, 5.
So Gary can tie. He overcompensated there because he was narrowed the first time with the brown and he was wide with the blue. This isn't far away. This isn't far away.
This is becoming extremely uncomfortable now for Zhou Yuelong. Just moments ago, his opponent needed 3 snookers. He clenched his fist, thinking the job was done. He was mistaken. As things stand, Wilson can tie the frame and force a respot, but he might still be entertaining thoughts of winning the frame. Zhou has got to hit this blue.
Well, we could have a tie on our hands now.
Thank you.
Impossibly dramatic.
Who'd have thought this just a few moments ago?
5.
And Gary Wilson deserves enormous credit. He just refuses to go away. And now he's 2 pots away from an extra black to decide this semi-final. Absolutely
11.
Incredible. Incredible. He needed 3 snookers. Zhou thought the job was done. He was mistaken. How do you try and summarise what's happened in this match? But it all boils down to a final frame and a final extra black to determine who will play in the Scottish Open final tomorrow. 5 all, 72 all.
Your choice.
Well, the norm is to put both balls on the side cushions. But you can leave a double if you play that shot. And he's left a double. This is a kind of double that you like as well, because you can play the cue ball to the black cushion.
Zhou Yuelong must be going through agonies here right now, though. He had this match won. He's got to win it all over again.
We'll know before he does.
Wow.
Do you take this on, Philip?
I wouldn't be surprised. The way that he's fought, the way he's attacked from 4-2, 5-3 behind.
If he misses it thin, there's a chance of the in-off.
Is he going to go for it? Opting for safety, and it looks good.
No, you can't blame him for that.
What cool, what calm he's shown from the very brink of defeat.
Caught it a little bit thin, but he's okay. This would take a brave shot to go for this one. Could go in the middle if he hits it full in the face. Good safety.
Second semi-final has certainly got something to live up to. John Higgins against Noppon Sankam coming up from 6:45 local time.
Well, very easy to play safe from this, but will he go for the double? He's gone for the double, but played it in such a way that it was the correct speed if he missed it. 16,500 pounds on this black. That's the difference between semi-final and the final.
How's the speed? How's the speed?
Oh, can he be tempted? No attempt at the pot. I thought it was worth an attempt. Just play the cue ball to the baulk cushion.
Both players showing a lot of nerve. With the pressure almost indescribable. What a match. What a finish.
Yeah, we'll say it again, eh? 3 snookers he needed, Gary Wilson. Now, will he be tempted by the double? This is a different double. I don't think he can get the cue ball back to the baulk cushion. He may be able to. Well, that's finished up okay, actually. The double kiss could be on if he plays the black up and down.
Who's going to make the first mistake on this black ball duel?
And you'll be happy with that. Didn't play the cue ball to the baulk cushion, he would have pushed the black over the pocket. So made sure of the black. Another good shot.
Acknowledged by Gary Wilson, and what nerve both of these players are showing with so much on the line.
Well, he's going to get a chance to win this match again. Zhou Yuelong.
Quiet, please.
Can he steel himself for one last big shot? He's already won this match. Now he's got to win it for a second time. For a place in the final. Where's it going to finish?
He's going to get a chance at it, whatever. Gary Wilson has just gone favourite.
Thank you. Settle down, please.
This has got to be one of the greatest Houdini acts in the history of the game. If Gary Wilson can pot this black. It's there. Incredible. These two players have served up a Christmas cracker. of extraordinary drama, almost unprecedented in the history of the home nations. Zhou Yuelong had Gary Wilson needing 3 snookers. He got them, and he potted the respot. Gary Wilson into the final of the Scottish Open. He must have been 100 to 1 to make it happen, but he has. And he has the chance to defend his title on Sunday.